Hello everyone, Danny here today, not to talk to you about an audiobook. I see a book in my hand, but that's because it's my journal. I'm old, I'm decrepit, and I was tagged by my buddy Pedro from Dro Talks, and he really made me feel old with this tag, like, okay, I gotta write stuff down because I'm too old, my memory doesn't work anymore. It's the over 30 book tag. And why does the over 30 book tag make me feel so old? Because I'm over 50. You've got a tag for people over 30. I mean, 30-year-olds are puppies. They're little kids. They haven't even experienced life yet. Why do they need a tag? So, thanks, Dro, for making me feel so old. Before I get into this, though, I have a favor to ask. If, like me, you love audiobooks, books in general, please subscribe to my channel. Come join me on my audiobook journey. Now, book number 1, I really did write these down. Yes, I really did. Name a favorite book with a protagonist over 30. 30 so young. That's too easy. So I had to go with a book that it's a book series. It's an entire huge big book series. And the protagonist is over 50 because you got to pick a protagonist that's like older than me or it doesn't really fit the spirit. I mean, I could go by the letter of the question, but you really got to fit the spirit of the question. That's the Harry Bosch series by Michael Connelly. This is a series that I have loved forever. I have not listened to it in a while, and now talking about this, I'm thinking maybe I need to listen to another Harry Bosch, book again. I kind of miss that guy. He's this old crotchety police detective. Now he's far enough along that he's actually retired from the LAPD. And he's gone to some little suburb town near there where he works cold cases. And it's his mission in life to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. The author, Michael Connelly, digs into how detectives really investigate murders. And so there's a real authentic, real feel to it. And he's created this character that I love. Harry Bosch is just this crotchety old guy who doesn't put up with bullshit, doesn't put up with political games, what he calls high jingo. I mean, it's an awesome series. Definitely check it out. Question number 2, a book that represents who I was when I was younger. Well, I had a hard time remembering what I was like when I was younger. I really had to think about, that's a long time ago. Realize, people, I can remember the first person in my town to get a computer. That's how old I am. Yeah. So I asked people. I went around and asked, and interestingly enough, I got the same answer from everyone I asked. Huckleberry Finn. And at first I thought, well, seriously, I'm not from the South. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, that really does represent who I was as a kid. I spent a lot of time, me and my friends spent a lot of time at the river. We grew up in Wapato, Washington, which is in the Yakima Valley, and the Yakima River was our friends. Fishing, swimming, what we call river ratting. I don't know if that's the official name for it or not, but you get like a piece of plywood, you get a rope, you run a rope through the piece of plywood, you kind of hook it onto the plywood, you run it up to a handle, and then you grab a hold of the handle, you go out into the current, and you lean backwards on that piece of plywood, and you let the current pull against the plywood, and it's kind of like wakeboarding or water skiing. You're not moving anywhere, you've got the rope tied to a tree up the river, and you're just letting the current, instead of a bolt pulling you forward, the current's moving against you. And that's the sort, we got in a lot of mischief. But like Huckleberry Finn, none of the mischief was anything that was truly bad, evil, illegal, anything like that. We didn't vandalize. We didn't do stuff like that. We were just outdoor, active, curious kids who had a lot of energy and created a lot of mischief. A book that represents who you are in your life now. This one was actually fairly easy. This is a book that I was given when I first got married, The Hidden Value of a Man. This is a book, and you can see I have highlighted the ever-loving crap out of this book. I have read it a multitude of times. This is a book that, I'm going to turn around so you can see the title. This is a book that addresses the importance the value of being a husband and a father. It addresses the harm that you can do your wife and your children when you are not a good husband or a good father. It addresses how much your children and your wife need you to stand up and be the man, be the husband, be the father. It teaches you how to do that, how to be a good husband, how to be a good father. This book definitely represents who and what I am now. Next question. Book that represents something that has never changed about you. This is another one that was easy. My Bible. It's all, I've got one of these fancy things here, but the Bible. My dad was a pastor. I grew up in church. I'm a believer. This Bible is a very important part of my life. And once again, it's all kinds of underlined and highlighted and everything else. It's a book that I've never, well, I can't say I've never gotten away from. I have gotten away from the Bible when I was in the Marine Corps, and then I came back to it. But it is a very important part of my life. It is an important part of who I am now. Next question. Favorite classics. 2 come to mind right away. Where the Red Fern Grows, which I read as a school assignment in high school and just absolutely fell in love with. I have a review on my channel of the Audible version of that book, and in it I tell a very funny story about when I read this story to my children, because this was a book that I loved enough that I read it to my children. The second book is not one that I've read to my children. It's an older book, The Last of the Mohicans. This book is a book that I love enough that my wife actually got it for me as an anniversary gift on the year of our first year anniversary. I think the gift you're supposed to give them is a book or something like that. And even after a year of marriage, she knew how much I love this book, and she got a very nice copy of this book. Haven't read it to my children because it's written in an older style of English. This is a book that every time I read it, I have to read the first chapter or two to get to where I can really understand the book, and then go back and start the book over because of the kind of English that is used in it. But it is an amazing, a great and wonderful book. Haven't tried finding it on Audible. Don't think I would try to find an Audible version of it just because it's such an older style of English. They did try to write a movie. They did try to make a movie about it. Don't watch the movie. The movie's terrible. The movie's horrible. They take characters that in the book are good guys and make them bad guys in the movie. They take characters that are good guys in the book and they take characters and they swap them around. The plot, everything. The only thing that is the same between that book and the movie is the title. Don't ever, never watch that movie. Read the book. It's just can't say enough. Terrible. The worst attempt Hollywood has ever, without fail, made to create a movie based on a book is The Last of the Mohicans. Absolutely. And it was a flop it sucked. Name a book you like or want to read that was published in the year you were born. So, I had no clue what had been published in the year I was born. So I Googled, hey, books published in 1968. And one of my all-time favorites came up. The High King by Lloyd Alexander. This is the 5th book in the Chronicles of Prydain. And I love the Chronicles of Prydain. I've read that series so many times growing up. The entire series, I would sit out in the yard for hours and hours and hours reading that chronicle. I wanted to be Taran the Wanderer, and I wanted to find my Princess Alani, and I wanted a good friend like Gurgi and Fluter Flam, who, every time he tells a lie or tries to stretch the truth, one of his heartstrings breaks, and he's constantly stretching the truth and telling lies, and not really telling lies, but stretching the truth. He's one of these guys that, he caught a fish that was this big, kind of a guy, kind of a thing. You know, that reminds me of a joke, actually. So, first day of class. Teacher asks her students, what did you do this summer? I want everyone to share something that they did this summer. Now, this is the same class that she's had for a couple of years. Little Johnny, he's all excited. He's got his hand up in the air, and the teacher's like, oh, all right, Johnny, what did you do? Me and my dad went fishing every single day. And every single day we caught 100 fish, and they were all 100 pounds. My dad's the most amazing fisherman in the world. Teacher says, now, Johnny, we've been working on this. That's an untruth. You're taking the truth and you're stretching it. You may have gone fishing every single day, but you didn't catch 100 fish every day, and they were not all 100 pounders. Oh, no, that's the truth. They were all 100 pounders, and there were 100 of them every single day. And the teacher says, Johnny, here's the problem. When you take and you stretch the truth like that, nobody believes you. I'll give you an example. What if I was to tell you that this morning, on my way to work, 1,000-pound grizzly came charging out of the woods at me, and a little 5-pound dog ran up, grabbed that 1,000-pound grizzly by the nose, flipped it around, and broke its neck? What would you say? Little Johnny, he jumps up in the air. That's my dog! That's my dog! That's my dog! That's Fluter Flam. I love that book. Anyhow, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like my channel, subscribe, turn on notifications. Questions, comments, feedback is what the comment section is for. Put them in there. But most importantly, no matter what else you do today, make sure that today you listen to at least one really good audiobook. I have given you several in this video. Thank you.